We know that during the pandemic, globally, millions of women left the workforce. I'm going to start with you. Are they coming back now?
Actually, in Thailand, they are coming back. But the problem is not about coming back or not. The problem is that at the moment, we are lacking of the manpower, the shortage of manpower.
The shortage of labor overall.
In many levels. The problem might have come from the changes after crisis. To myself, I believe that there might be 4 types of people. After COVID, what has happened? The first type will be the people who, after they receive the package of layoff, they go back to their hometown.
Yep.
They discover that actually there is something that they can do. They discover their new skill and they become entrepreneur.
Yep.
They become smart farmers, and now they don't want to return. The second group will be the people that maybe they learn from the crisis that the world has changed and their mind has changed. And so therefore, the view of the world has changed. They don't want to stick to anything. They want freedom. They don't know what will happen tomorrow. And so therefore, some people may say this is like gig economy, meaning that I don't belong to anywhere. I want to do this maybe for 3 months and then another things for another 3 months. So
keep trying different experiences.
Right.
Yeah.
And the third one will be the people who, I would say that, okay, I want to return, but please understand my new lifestyle. I get used to hybrid. I get used to partially work at home. I want to send my children to school, and so therefore, please rearrange the way of work. But last but not least, will be maybe the people like myself. I die to return. I want to be with people.
Yes.
And so therefore, with this kind of combination, some return, some discover new life. And so what we have to do, maybe later on I can tell you what we are doing in Thailand about this.
That's a really good point. And the third person, the third category of people you talked about, they're coming back, but their view of the world has changed. So Narisa, I want to ask you, when you find women are coming back into the workforce, it seems that they're coming back with a different set of asks, right? They want different things from their companies now. What do they want?
We want to have more flexible hours, and we want to get more support, and we need to train them more. And like for example, myself, I can do what I'm doing now. I can travel and I can expand into other countries because of my husband also can work from home, and I can't do it without support from my family, and also the policies that the company has provided us, my husband. And also we have to train a lot of women as well. Like some industry that start recovering, like tourism, aviation, a lot more women working there. And we have to support them in terms of give them flexibility so they can come back with more training, and also flexible for them to take care of their families and also come back to work.
So flexibility is key. Kobkarn, let me ask you this. If companies don't then offer flexibility, they're at the risk of losing talent, right? I read this amazing report by Lean In, the organization, and they talked about the great backup. And I hadn't heard of this. I've heard of the great resignation, but I hadn't heard of the great backup. And they're saying that women are leaving companies at very senior positions at the fastest rate ever. They're not leaving to quit work. They're leaving to go to a different company, a company that's offering them flexibility and other privileges that they want. What are you seeing?
Well, that's the key. So how to understand your people.
Right.
But then at the same time, my personal point of view is that it doesn't mean that this is a new normal. I believe that people will constantly change. maybe this is up to the stage where they want their life to be. But then in the next 1 or 2 years, things will change again. But we need to understand, we need to communicate to them. And for us at the bank, meaning that we have to provide 2 or 3 ways of working to accommodate maybe type 3 people or type 4 people, because some people, they just want to return. But then at the same time, the type that the people who would like to understand that they want to have more time for their children, they want to have more time to travel, to discover themselves. So we need to create a new environment with the understanding and definitely with the communication. But then I would like to add on that it's not only staff, because on another hand, I'm also heading the electrical appliance business. We also have to take care of our dealers around the country. So staff is also one thing that we have to take care. Another thing is our people, I would say the third stakeholders, our dealers. We don't want the young generation, the second generation or the third generation to quit, because they start to feel that there is no insecurity any longer. They have money already. They want to sell business.
Yeah.
And that is something that what we have been doing is to have a new training. But the training that we have given to them is not technology training. Of course, we have to tell them how to do online more and that kind of thing. But most important is the spirit training.
Yeah.
The heart.
Yes.
The passion that you want to go on life, facing new crises and many more crises coming. You're doing not only for yourself. If you only think of yourself and your family, you give up.
Yes.
I have money already and that's it. But we try to convince to them that you are here only for yourself, or you are here for your hometown, or you are here for your country. If you believe that you can have power to change, you have power to make a more secure future for the future, you have to learn. There is no green road.
No, there isn't. There absolutely
There
isn't.
is
No.
There is none.
And I want to remind you in the audience, I did ask you in the morning to participate. I hope you will. So do send in your questions, and I'm going to keep a close eye on the monitor. If you have any questions for our panelists, I know they'll be happy to answer it. And also get your phones out, because I'm going to come to you in just about 2 minutes with a polling question. And now, Thailand has this unusual situation that you actually have a lot of women in the workforce. But one area where this falls short typically is tech, right? Narisa, tell me, you've started this fintech company. It's a young fintech company. How much of a gap is there between women in the workforce in Thailand and women in tech in Thailand?
Your question is how women in tech in Thailand, isn't it? Because I live in the UK, but I was born here. So it's very, very difficult for me to start a fintech company. And the challenges I have.
What was the most difficult bit about starting a fintech company for you?
Okay, fundraising is very tough for me. Funding. I started from bootstrap, because we save enough to do bootstrap, and also 2 angel investors. And we have about $500,000 to start up a business with a prototype and get the license. And after that, we try to do crowdfunding. And after crowdfunding, we have to do pre-Series A. So talk a lot to VC and potential investors. And as you know, 2% of the funding from VC goes to the woman, and 98% go to the male.
The numbers are amazing, 98% and 2%. I mean,
I didn't feel it before when I worked in the academy or corporate. When I experienced myself when I talked to a lot of investors, mainly like venture capital. The question that they have for me, I feel, I might be wrong, but I feel unbiased, like unconscious bias, unconscious bias. The question they ask me, and sometimes they ask, how are you going to make profits? And then they say, okay, your project is good. We love it, but come back and talk to us when you make a few millions per month. How could a startup, this is a few years ago, can make millions in the beginning and come back to them. So I found it very, very difficult. And the other challenging that I have is I feel that after the financial crisis in 2008, our financial ecosystem characterized by the one with mistrust and suspicion instead of trust. So I feel that we have a challenge of a lot of regulations, unnecessary regulations, to stop us from scaling up. I just want to know how we can work together. How can we balance it that the regulators and our bank partner can work with us? And I feel sometimes heartbroken when I see that a lot of unregulated company, they fail and acceptable. So that's another challenge for me, fundraising, and also a lot of burdens from regulations and the partners that we have.
Well, in contrast to that, one area where women actually have a really good presence is in banking and financial services in Thailand, right?
Yes, I do believe. It's not that, but I believe that not only in banking. For example, Mr. Link, Bigrim, many corporations in Thailand and many SME, you will find a lot of women in management, high level management level.
A lot of these are in family-run businesses, right?
Yes and no. I would say, according to statistics, maybe women CEO in Thailand about 40%, and CFO 47%, probably the highest. I mean, according to the report, highest in the world. But then again, there is room for us to improve. For example, women on board. That is something that we are still quite low, and maybe because women have no interest in this, but we need to improve. But I would like to touch on what you have said. There is good news that now, on another hand, I'm from Chamber of Commerce, and Chamber of Commerce is working together with the Federation of Thai Industries, Banker Association, in order to groom up the startup, the new business. Financial issue is one thing, but it's not only that. So now we are working on the other pain points that they have. Sometimes it's the management, sometimes it's the confidence, sometimes it's the HR, people skill and whatnot. And so therefore, we believe in order for APEC and for us to grow into the future, we need to go together. But in order to go together, people is most important.
Funding, that's what Narisa said. Funding is most important.
We try to understand, but when we talk to them, funding is one thing, but not only funding.
No, not only funding, but it is important to get off the ground.
So we are now working on this, trying to communicate and understand and support more.
Absolutely. Well, let's turn to our audience and to our polling question. And all of you here, I'd love to know what you think. In your organization, would you like to see more of female mentorship, more facilities for childcare, career coaching, or more pay transparency? Close between female mentorship and more career coaching. Bouncing around a bit. More career coaching at the moment seems to be on top. Does this surprise you?
Not at all.
Why doesn't it surprise you? Tell me.
During the COVID-19 and after COVID-19, I've been coaching or mentoring by someone that I would never imagine I could. I've been coaching by some mentor from the founder of series. So because we've been connected by technology, so we have a meeting by Zoom, and I've been coaching by them, and I learned a lot by them. We did some pilot study about AI using a mobile, to get AI to understand how we do cross-border payment. Something like that, I wouldn't imagine that I can get the coaching by them. And also, I've been supported by the UK government. This is I really, really need. And I see the opportunity because of COVID-19. They've seen us more. Like, they have a lot of initiative for women founders. So I see the opportunity, I join them. And recently in February. I was selected by UK government through the Mayor of London program to go to the first trade mission trip in UAE. And there are 12 companies and I'm only the female founder to go to them. And with that trade mission trip, we've been supported by some parties in UAE, and I just set up my company in Dubai recently. So without the support from UK government, through Mayor of London program and other mentors, I wouldn't be able to do it. So this is really, really needed.
We've talked about women in tech, women in finance and business. What about women in politics? Oh. You've had an innings in politics. How do we encourage more women to join the world of politics? And would you encourage more women to join that?
Definitely, there should be more.
Yeah.
But from my experience, I can say that I think in terms of ability, I do believe we have ability. But certain things that we need to, it's not coaching, but I think is the strength of the emotion. Because once you get into politics, you are public figures. And
public figures,
when,
yes.
When they talk about you, it's fine. We get criticism, that is fine. But once they start to talk about your private life, about my mother, about my daughter, that is something that very difficult.
Do you think that happens more to women politicians?
I'm not so sure, but maybe that's something that happened to me. But I passed that stage. So I understand why other people might be reluctant, even though they have the ability. But then again, we need to grow. We need to be stronger. And maybe we need mentorship for female politicians and whatnot. I talked to many political parties. They said that they welcome more women, but maybe they said the women might be a bit reluctant to get in. But anyway, we have the ability, and I think we need more women in politics.
That would be amazing. In one sentence, we're almost out of time. I'm going to ask you both. The way we work has changed dramatically, right, as a result of the pandemic. If there was one change you could hold on to that would encourage more women to work, to enter the workforce, what would that one change be? Just one sentence each. What's the first thing you would pick and say, if we stick with this, I know that more women will work? Narisa, I'll go with you first.
Just want to encourage whoever, the women now in the workplace and women who are doing business like me, don't give up. Challenges can be opportunity, and something that you have to feel that your mission and goal have to worth fighting for. For me, I know that everyone know, my investor know, my team know that after I exit my business, I want to continue doing my volunteering work for homeless and orphanage children. This is something that worth fighting for.
Yeah.
So find something that worth fighting for, and don't give up.
Last word from you.
Very similar.
Yep.
Whatever you want your country to be, just don't criticize. You have to be the one who stand up and make the change. And believe in the power of yourself. Believe in the power of one individual. You can make a difference.
You can make a difference. Thank you so much. That's a great note to leave it on. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.